in your position, what do you do for minority hiring so we can make sure our city services look like us, look like the city?
Okay. Well, actually, that's part of my job is recruiting. I didn't start as a captain until May this year, but that's always been my focus,
Mhm.
to hire minorities, especially women. That's my passion, because even I grew up in a household where um, my father was a firefighter, but that was never something that I wanted to do because we didn't see people that looked like us. Well, I didn't see a woman in the fire department at that time. But I came in later on in life at 32 when I actually got an opportunity to see
Mhm.
um, somebody that looks like me. And I love to be a service to the community. So that was my option right there to get into doing something and giving back to the city that imparted a lot into me. I'm a native of Portsmouth, born and raised. Um, One of the things that we are doing as far as recruiting, we got to reach them when they're young. We are actually going out into the preschoolers, the first graders. We're actually reading a book called No Dragons for Tea to them. That's our first encounter with the kids. So they see us there. Um, and then we also started a youth fire academy. So that's the age range is from 13 to 17. And they get an opportunity to get hands-on on what we do. A couple of things that we're starting now is getting into the high schools, which we were at one time, public safety program. Um, your junior and senior year, the first year, my recommendations is to touch each bases of the public safety, fire, police, sheriff, dispatchers, and then
Mhm.
the second year, kind of venture out to what you think would be your passion. Um, some of the certifications that they would get in that first year is E911. We having a hard time keeping dispatchers here too in the city of Portsmouth. So that is something that we can try to, in that public service program, try to push people to actually try to do that too.
Mhm.
Um,
One of the reasons I asked you that, started off with that question is, I don't know if you knew a Tyrone Wisher.
yes, I did.
Yes, he was my neighbor, lived right across the street. And
Mm-hmm.
so when I went to his funeral and they had all the young cadets there, and I saw one person of color in that recruiting class because the commander brought all them around, sort of introduction into, they sort of served as ushers. And I was shocked, especially after the commander got up there and talked about inclusiveness and this and
Yeah.
that. And then the picture that I saw was non-inclusiveness. It was the exact opposite of what should be done. And that's the reason I bring that,
Okay.
you know. And so if I want to apply for a position, what are the qualifications and what do I need to do
Okay.
to
Well, you
make?
have to be 18 years old. You have to have a valid driver's license. And certain, we got automatic disqualifiers. You can't get a dishonorable discharge from the military. You can't have any domestic violence, and you can't have any felons. So if any or a good driving record, you have to have a driver's license because that's one of the things that we do. We drive.
Mhm.
Um, Now, um, as far as what do you start doing? When I talk to the kids at the career days, I usually try to let them know not to get into trouble because a
Mhm.
lot of times us as people of color
Yeah.
are not we don't get to through the civil service process because of certain things that we've done early on in our lives. So then we're actually with the civil service. That's something that we can't change. We can't change it, but it hasn't been changed. So you
Right.
want to stay out of trouble. You definitely want to stay out of trouble. I tell the kids to start volunteering. Is A lot of times we go out and do community service. We see the kids out there um, volunteering. I do paint your heart out. I got to put the shout out as far as that. I've been doing paint your heart out for years in the for the fire department, giving them the opportunity, and the kids will come out and they actually come out and work. They don't come out there just to get the credit for it or anything, but they actually get out there and start working.
Mhm. You know, as an EMT, is there a pre-EMT course that you teach? Because,
We
you know,
don't have
a lot of kids come out and that is the, because you don't have any medical experience. Then when I go in, especially, you know, I had a cousin or a nephew that applied for the police department,
Mhm.
but what got him is because he didn't have any medical experience, that EMT level first aid EMT thing killed him. And so is there like a pre-course that these kids have? Because what I found out later is that those other folks that look like your uniform got that information to say, study up on the pre-EMT piece. And he never got that word.
Okay. And that was in the police department.
That was in the police department, yes.
I don't know of any pre classes. You could do like a first responders class.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe in the future we might be able to teach that. That's one of the things our chief Mr. Manubat, is he all for the community. We are looking at ways, and that's part of my job too. We're looking at ways to reach out to the community, identify any kind of risk and this and that, and then prioritize our resources to make sure they get taken care of.
Good.
And Captain Orton, I think that's important. Like you said, you're going into the elementary schools, junior high schools, and talking to the students so they can set themselves up. If they're thinking about going into firefighter or be a firefighter later on in life, even if they don't go, but you tell them there's certain courses that you probably need to concentrate on, like math and
Definitely.
biology and science, that will prepare you for that, you know, those tests that come up in the fire department.
Okay. Yeah, when I took the exam, it's a little different now in the fire department, but part of it was definitely math. So they want to make sure they do the math. And then some of the times we have to calculate, when we're on the fire, we got to calculate how much water we need to get to on the fire, and also what pressures we got to get. So that's definitely important. We did reading comprehension during the test, and also, you know, listening. So we had an opportunity to kind of like listen to somebody do a passage and then answer questions later.
Leah, I know you have a question, but I forgot to mention. I want to say, Captain Orton, she was the first Black female captain on the fire department, if I'm correct.
Yes.
And you
stole
mentioned
my question, James. I had a question in reference to that, but go ahead.
okay. Did I take that from you? I'm sorry.
You took it from me, James. That's good. That's
But
all
she
good.
was also she mentioned that she was a second generation firefighter. You know, your dad was grew up in Truxton. But and also you attended Tidewater Community College and ODU. So I just wanted to throw those little bio things in there. Go ahead, Leah. You have a different question?
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for allowing me to jump in. No. But listen, no, Charisse, I tell you what, it has been such a pleasure my getting to know you. And, you know, I'm like you, my pet peeve is the women in the workplace. Currently, how many women are in the fire department in Portsmouth, and how many women are minority women?
We have 10 females actually in the department.
Out of how many people?
About 260.
Wow.
Wow.
And how many are minority women?
I would say 4.
4. And you're the first African American to reach the rank, female to reach the rank.
I'm not the first captain female, but
not
actually
African American captain.
We have one other female in the department that made it up to battalion chief, and then I left the department.
And also, I think, was your sister a member of the fire department at one time as well?
Yes, she was. I actually came in 2002, and she came in 2005. But my sister was a paramedic, so she kind of bridged over to nursing. So that's what she's doing now.
Okay. And so we're actively working to recruit women for the Portsmouth Fire Department.
Yes. Yes.
And I know Charisse has been, she has recently partnered with the sheriff's office. And so we've been doing a lot of things together in the community, which has been a plus. But how are you reaching out to these women, Charisse, to let them know that this is an opportunity for them to become a member of the Portsmouth Fire Department?
Well, I've always kind of, that was, like I said, that was my thing, wanting women in the fire department. I actually, the chief actually had, because I didn't get an opportunity to go out and do the agility test. I don't know if anybody knows, that's part of our process. We do a physical ability test. And actually, it's doing the physical stuff that we do in the department. It's 7 exercises that we have to do in 6 minutes. When I got to go out there to the agility test, I saw a few things. So I worked hard the next time to get our females through that process. Even if I had to reach out, and we're looking at other things now. I've spoken with our chief, maybe having like an opening day where we can actually show the females the physical ability test up beforehand. Or I ain't gonna say women, we have to include everybody.
Yes.
So have everybody be able to come out and have an opportunity to put hands on, even though during the process, we actually have, they do have some practice sessions, but just getting them familiar with that. You know, I know everybody know I work out. I'm on Facebook, running on the treadmill sometimes. I reach out to females and I'll come and work out with, get them prepared for this this journey on this fire department. It ain't easy getting in the fire department. It was rough. It took me years. I just wanted to put that out there. It took me a few years to get on the department, and I really I had given up. But then I got the call after 9/11 that I was still on the list. So then I got an opportunity in 2002, which now saying that I got 19 years down in the department and almost ready to retire at my good age of 52 years old. So what can I do more to get out in the community? We got to be out in the community.
Yes.
They got to, you can't be what you can't see. So we have to, as females in the department, get out, let people see us in that community. And because a lot of times I still get those looks like, we got women in the fire department. You know, and I'm like, I've been here 19 years and we've had other females, as you know, too. Right now, I'm probably got the most time on the department of most everybody, because everybody left. Now we got we actually have 3 female lieutenants. I mean, 2 female lieutenants and 1 captain as far as officer ranks. But I'm trying to come up with some game plan. One of the game plans, like I say, is getting out in the community.
Right. So Charisse, other than the agility test, what other areas are you finding that women are having difficulty in as they try to matriculate through becoming a firewoman?
I think that's where we lose most of our women, because most of if you get through the civil service on the background, the polygraph, we usually don't have an issue with that. We usually don't have an issue with the written test, and we usually don't have an issue with the interview. Mostly where we lose our females is in the physical ability test.
Wow.
Well, you know what? Being part of recruiting command for a number of years, and when we have a recruit coming up just before they come into the service, we have a program to where we get you up and running, take the edges off for that physical piece. Is there thought, or is there a program to get me tuned up physically prior to me coming on board?
One of the things, you got to weight lift. You got to be lifting weights.
I mean, some form.
Our job is to one of the things that women we lack is upper body strength.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that helped me in the academy, and I tell people, is the push-ups. I got one officer that used to tell us push-ups is body restructuring. So it helped me with my upper body strength. That's one of the things. Lift weights. You want to work on your cardio. Anything you can do. If you can run on the treadmill, run outside. I know people don't like to be indoors, but run outside. Walk that Jordan Bridge that I've been walking for a while. That's an incline, so you get an opportunity. um, um, work on several areas there too.
But you know, I was talking about something formal because you can also use that as part of your recruiting message also. You know, if I have a group of 20 kids, whatever, young people, and we're working out together, that is part of my recruiting pitch because I'm getting you ready for, you know, for the physical piece rather than putting it all on them in a non-structured kind of thing, you know, as a suggestion.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I spoke with the chief on trying to maybe have like a, what I call it, a opening day, maybe just a community outreach thing that we can bring the citizens in and let them see what our physical ability test looks like, get hands-on. So that was something that I did mention to him already. Right now, we are starting a recruit class on May the 3rd, and we actually have 5 females.
Wow.
I don't think we ever had that many females in the academy.
That's a great thing. That is a great thing. And I guess it's time to marry them up now with a mentor. That's my suggestion, even before they go, as they go through the academy, because there's strength in numbers. Yes. And if you have that mentor, you'll get them through.
Sure. That's one of the things too that a couple of us in the department are working on, just mentoring everybody through the process. Period. Right. I mean, through just from starting to put that application in to in the academy and completing the academy.
Yes. Yes.
I think I wanted to put this out here because I know that I know I'm going by my own experiences. A lot of times stuff is mental for females. I got out to the agility test because I needed to show the women that yes, you can do this.
Yes.
You can do this, females. You know, we kind of count ourselves out. I know the academy wasn't easy for me. And then it wasn't until I believed in myself that I am stronger than I think I am. That then it was I ain't gonna say a breeze, but it got a lot easier for me. Even when we do the, I noticed a couple of things when we do the, we have a thing that we do, our physical ability test that we do yearly. The females, if they have someone there with them to kind of, I'm not saying cheer them on, but somebody there that they feel confident to complete that, they didn't have an issue.
Yes.
You know, Cherie has really been doing a lot in the community as well. In the short time that she has been captain, I'm thankful for the partnership that she's formed with the Sheriff's Department. And she's been instrumental in getting paramedics out to work with the Sheriff's Department in administering vaccinations to people in the community. Cherie, some of the other ways in which you're working in the community that you would like to share with us, please.
Well, I wanted. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm excited about that. That the partnership with the Sheriff Department, where we got the vaccinations. I seen a need for us to get out into the seniors, and help them, get them the resources that they need. Going on calls, knowing that you know, we do a lot of lift assist. I went off on a tangent, but we do a lot of lift assist. So I'm partnering with other departments, like the social services, to get those resources to those seniors that need that. The vaccinations, we are actually going into homes now with the fire department. Thank you for the Sheriff Department for getting us the opportunity to do that and help the seniors. We were out last weekend, community outreach. We did the Great American Cleanup. We actually had engine 4, one of our engines, engine 7 out. We had our battalion 2 out, and we had all our chief and both of our deputy chiefs out cleaning the community on Glasgow Street and Portsmouth.
And Cherie, you're also looking to do something for seniors. James, the last question, I promise you, James, but you also are you're looking to do something for the seniors, go into their houses to assess whether the houses are safe or not. Could you share that, please?
Yeah, we wanted to do home safety surveys, and we actually have 7 people that want us to act, 7 seniors that want us to actually come into their homes. We working out some things, you know, due to COVID and everything. We just want to make sure everybody's safe. But that's one of the things that we're reaching out to make sure that to check the house for fall risks, any kind of lighting, make sure they don't have anything blocking their walkway, making sure their smoke detectors work.
Interesting. Before Slim, before you get there, let me make this one commercial break so we can pay these bills. So for those who are out in electron world and listen to us radio or looking at Facebook, we at Portsmouth Coffee Talk LLC are seeking sponsors, and we also look at seeking donations. And if you have anything that you'd like to send us our way, you can send it to P.O. Box 7664, Portsmouth, Virginia 23707. And you can give us a shout out at our email via email at Portsmouth Coffee Talk, no spaces, at yahoo.com. And just let us know how you're doing. Okay, Slim.
And also
okay.
tell them to like our page and share it, please.
Yes.
Yeah, please do. And I just want to, we're approaching the 7 o'clock hour. We have to leave the radio, but we will continue on Facebook Live. Captain Orton, I hope you stick around for that because I have a question.
Okay.
But we want to thank all the listeners on WGPL 1350 AM. And thank you for listening. We want to thank the Bishop for handling his business there at the station while we sit in our homes comfortably, anyway, but safely and healthy. But anyway, thank you. And please join us next Monday as we come back to you. I think it'll be the first Monday in April, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
We
yes.
start out with a focus on Civic Leagues, the importance of Civic Leagues. But anyway, thank you again for listening in, and please stay tuned as we continue on Facebook Live, everybody. Okay, I guess retention is very important. You know, the fire department, the fire department is kind of hard. That's one of those jobs where you have so much competition in Hampton Roads with all the other cities. It always looks great on the other side. But one of my reasons for asking, you know, how's your retention? Because me as a heart transplant recipient, before I received my heart, for 3 years, I had a LVAD, which is a heart pump to keep me going. So when I first got it, I came home and I had to call 911. Okay. And they came. And one of the things when you first get the heart pump is you don't have a pulse.
Okay.
So when they came there, the first thing they do is take your pulse, right? And the firefighter took my pulse and he looked at me, you know, I mean, the look on his face.
Yeah,
you know,
we had training on after that because it's been years, but we did have training on that. We know that they don't have a pulse. We know that we can't do CPR on.
Right. You can't do any chest compressions or anything like that. So that's what I was asking, because I knew I talked to the hospital and they said they come out. One of the biggest problems was they do the training and then the turnover is so bad. I mean, not bad, but was kind of high at that time. And time they trained and they had a new recruits come in and they had trained on what the LVAD actually was. So hopefully retention is a little better. I guess you can't control that because, you know, people can always look for something better, but how is the retention as far as Portsmouth?
How is the retention?
Yes.
I think we're doing right now. We're doing a real good job as far as retention. We have lost a few people, but other than that, but they going on to do bigger and better things. That's why, you know, I let people know that this probably could be something that you can start, but go on to be a paramedic. Like my sister went on to be a nurse. We had a couple of our guys actually go out to be physical, PA, physician assistants.
All right.
And we actually have a doctor actually that left the department.
Yeah, because one thing people don't know that being a firefighter can be, is a career. And a lot of college grads don't always look at that. but that's a good opportunity for college grads to go into that field, because especially as everything gets more and more technical, you know, more and more technical experience is going to be needed, you know, from on the college level to handle those positions.
Yes.
And looking at retention, do you find that you some of our how can I put this? Do you find that some cities are paying more than the city of Portsmouth, and therefore you have firefighters who are leaving to go to other cities in order to receive more money?
Previously, maybe years back, that we probably would follow the lowest pay, but right now I think we might have a couple of people ahead of us as far as starting pay. But right now I think we're doing a good job as far as that.
Okay.
The starting pay is, I think, $39,000 when you start recruit school, and I think when you come out it's like $41,000.
Also on the, what retirement system are you on?
We're on the VRS.
VRS, and for those who are out there, what is VRS?
The Virginia retirement system.
So
You have to do 25 years.
Yes.
25 years, and I think you have the age.
Yes.
I'm probably not going to make the 25, but I still have my age. You have to be 50 years old.
Yes. You know, I think that you hit it earlier when you talk about exposing the opportunities in grade schools when the young kids are in formative years. I have a friend of mine that grew up with me in Bonneville Apartments.
Okay.
You might know him, and I knew when he was born because they lived 2 doors down from us. Michael Earhart.
What is his name?
Earhart.
Earhart.
Yes, Earhart.
Right?
Yes, and you know, I remember when they took him home, you know, when he was born, and so he stayed with the fire department, made it to lieutenant before he retired.
Yeah.
So I think that the other piece that I'd like to get a point across, and when you was talking about retention, I remember when I was in uniform, human resources would send me hard to fill folks like nurse anesthetists, nurse practitioners that were minorities, and because I had overwatch over them.
Okay.
And I protected them as a mentor, and I think that's the piece that those 5 minorities that you have, I would latch on to them and sign them as a mentor right away.
Okay.
And that will get them through. That's what you have to do on the front end. And so they'll be able to, you know, to have that late night talk and tell them, you know, you need to concentrate on this or you're messing up on that. It's not bad. We can get by this, but you need to do this. Do that in the front end, you'll improve your retention, because you know that systemic racism is throughout the whole system.
Oh yeah.
Even though, and I got to add this one piece in, even though Lindsey Graham says there is no racism in America because we have a Black vice president.
Yes.
So racism is over according to Lindsey Graham. You know, the head clucker, as they say, in the Senate. But I just got to add that one piece in there.
You know, Charisse, you got to get that political stuff in there. I know. Charisse, I wanted to ask this. Maybe I watch too much TV. You know, the Firehouse 9 and all that stuff. But I wonder, with all the shootings we have going on around here, when y'all have to respond to a shooting or something like that, is it you have some sort of degree of danger going into a situation like that? Or are y'all prepared for that? Or what kind of I don't think you go through any training for that, but how prepared for a situation like that? You know, you're going into a shooting situation, but mostly when it's over, but you never know.
Yeah, we have done some training with the police department, like active shooter. That would be more so when we will probably go in, but most of the time the police are already there. If a shooting comes out, we're gonna stage until the scene is secure. Now, as far as an active shooter, the police are still ahead of us and protecting us, even if we have to go in to make sure we check on the ones that's wounded there.
So and another position a lot of people might not be aware of, well, maybe they are the fire inspector or the fire marshal. What exactly are their duties?
The inspector, they actually go out to businesses in the city of Portsmouth and check and make sure they have all the fire safety, fire extinguishers. We have the exit signs for everything. So we just make sure our businesses are safe when our citizens are actually in the building.
Can they actually close someone down, or it's more of a citation type situation? Now, I told you I watch too much TV. You know.
Yeah, with the partnerships we have within the city, they probably would be able to do that. Yes, they can condemn a building.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So Charisse, is there anything that you have on your heart that you would like to share with the citizens of Portsmouth? Because, you know, like, as you said, many of us, to see you in this position, it's just it's so refreshing. And so anything that you have on your heart that you want to share with us at this time?
I'm trying to think of what I'm passionate
What
about.
are you passionate about? Yes.
I'm definitely passionate about the community. I was doing this community outreach way before I got promoted. One of the things, like I said, I focus on the women. We do a Women in Public Service Conference. I don't know if people know about that. Most of the people in the city of Portsmouth know. We've been doing this for like 10 years, 10 or 11 years. I think it was our 11th year. We haven't done it in the last couple of years because of COVID. But that's one of the things to try to empower women. And it's not just for women, the Women in Public Service. We have fire chiefs from different cities that actually come out and showing their support for the women in public service.
And you've also been coming out, you came out with us to the Portsmouth Public Schools opening recently, and you're going to be out with us again with Ms. Steele at the Day of the Military Child. So getting involved in other ways in the community as well.
And then we reaching out to the Civic Leagues. I don't know, trying to see what needs they have in the community. I know Product had their Earth Day this weekend, but I was out of town. But they was doing their cleanup this weekend, trying to get out in the community. Even we do whatever the community needs, and we can get the resources to you. So I'm just saying to the citizens of Portsmouth, we are here for you. We want to be there for you. Whatever you need us for, we're there.
So is there a non-emergency number for individuals who may want you to come out to check their homes, or, you know, just to get involved in the community? Is a non-emergency number or non-emergency contact information that you can give out for those individuals?
Now, as far as a non-emergency, you talking about on the dispatch side, or?
Say, for instance, if I'm in my home, I'm a senior, and take that back. But anyway, I'm in my home and I'm a senior, and I need you to come out to check my fire alarm and make sure my home is safe. How would I contact you, or who should I contact in order to get these things accomplished?
If you feel like it's an emergency, because we get calls all the time, call the 393-5300. A lot of people, I'm not sure. My smoke detector is making this noise. I'm not sure. We'll actually send an engine out there to check that, or your carbon monoxide alarm might be going off or something, but we'll do that. But you can call our administrative office. The number is 393-8765, or you can reach our fire marshal's office at 393-8689.
It's important to have that carbon monoxide detector in your house along with the smoke detector, because it saved us, my wife and I, one time. It went off, and the fire department came in and said if we hadn't gotten out of the house, and they came in and had to open all the windows, it went off while we were asleep, and luckily we heard it. And it's important for people to be aware of that as well, because I
want to put that out there too, as far as the smoke detectors. Still, I've seen where the smoke detectors are not working, or they didn't activate. when they had a fire or anything. Just making sure you checking your smoke detectors monthly.
And how often do you have to replace the smoke detector and the carbon monoxide detector?
Well, with the smoke detector every 10 years.
Okay.
We do have, and we've partnered with Red Cross. They actually have ones that are 10-year, so you don't have to change the battery in those. So, and I say to, I think it's like 5 to 7 years as far as the carbon monoxide detector. And I want to say to the citizens too, when it's beeping, because I know I've done it. You know, we listening to the smoke detector going out, we're hearing a beeping noise every now and then. You probably need to change your battery. And then I think they are telling you to check your batteries, or just at least change your batteries when we do the daylight savings time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now see Reverend Robert Earls is watching, and is there any services that you're offering to the churches? He's not asking this question. I'm asking this question. Are there services offered to the churches in the Portsmouth area?
Not that I know of, but like I said, I'm reaching out to everybody in the community trying to see what their needs are.
Okay.
So if they call, we can accommodate them.
So let the church know if you're in need of the Portsmouth Fire Department, and we can get in touch with Charisse, and she can get the services that you need taken care of. So
safety talks, career days, because a lot of times I've done career days for some churches in Portsmouth.
I know you want to put this out there for those people, and I don't know if it'll do any good. Those people that ride in their cars with the boom, boom, boom sound, it's important because they don't hear the fire engines or the sirens coming, especially at the intersection. And it could delay you all, it could cause another accident, another catastrophe. So, you know, it has to be some kind of appeal. I hope that we can, you know, get to some of those people that do that, you know.
But a lot of times you can't hear the siren, but I guess it's like a cone area of where you can hear sounds from. And sometimes you don't hear that you hear it, but you don't know where it's coming from.
Right.
A lot of times they tell you to move over to the right, but a lot of times I'll just say, well, just don't move, you know, and we'll try to maneuver around, because we're going to probably try to commit to, when you're driving, I'm trying to commit to where I'm going. So I'm gonna kind of let you know which area, which direction I'm going. So that means, you know, don't stop, because some people want to move over to the left or move over to the right, or just.
And some people just confused and don't know. They're just going.
They're like, stop where you are. Yes. Probably pay attention to what the driver is doing, because they're going to try to commit early.
Right.
To trying to get through that intersection. And then, you know, we have to stop and make sure our intersection is clear. We're just not going to blow through an intersection. So
y'all are real proactive in that, you know, making sure you slow down, because you never know. I see people go through, you know, I heard a siren and people just almost get hit by the
or cause accidents. That's one thing that we don't want to happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who's next?
Yeah. You know, Captain Orton, you know, it does me proud to see you sitting across on this screen, because it's not often that I see somebody that looks like me cross there at your rank and for your job. And so I'd like to just thank you ahead of time for that, for what you're doing now and what you're going to do in the future. I am also disheartening that you're thinking about retiring or getting at that age. And I know we all retire one day, but I just want to put on you that one, just hang in there. Hang in there. And because when you walk out the door for the last time, unless somebody comes up behind you, looks like you, then it won't be there for a long time. Yeah. And so if you have to hold on with your fingernails, just hang in there.
Hang in there. Yeah.
And especially since she's become captain and she has so many great things taking place with the fire department. She's just all over the place, and I'm just so proud of all the work that she's doing, and just saluted the 911 dispatchers about a week ago.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. We did a picture with the dispatchers for telecommunications.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
so important. That's why we want to, thanks Leah, we want to do this show to make sure we get information out to people. Everybody knows about the fire department, but most people don't think about it until you need them, you know. But we know, and our Civic League, before the pandemic came, they attended every one of our meetings, and sometimes they had to leave early because of a call. But if they on a call or something, they were at every one of our meetings to answer questions from the citizens. And it did us good because we in a neighborhood that there's a lot of elderly.
Mhm. I'm
And-
working with some more partnerships as far as that too.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, because I was thinking, as you were saying, James, that's the best avenue, really, some of the civic leagues, in order to get into the homes of some of the citizens, is through
Yeah.
the civic league, forming that relationship and gaining the confidence of those older individuals so that we can get into the homes and do the things that need to be done. So,
Mhm.
so you definitely need to get with that civic leagues and try to make some things happen. So that's a good thing.
Mhm.
Well, let me ask this, and I apologize if you've already mentioned this. Do
Mhm.
y'all do like go into homes and do safety things like let people know what might be a potential fire hazard?
Yep.
Yes, we
Is
do.
that
That's
something I would request or?
one of the services that we do offer is our home safety surveys. When you call in and say, well, I want smoke detectors, because we do put that out there too, because I don't think most of the citizens know that we do offer free smoke detectors. We'll actually come in into your home. And one of the things the young ladies should ask you on the phone when you call the admin is, do you want the fire department to do a home safety survey?
And once again, for those who may be just coming on, I know you talked about it earlier. What things are you looking for when you do that home safety survey?
We're looking for a lot of times we notice don't run cords under the rugs. We want to make sure your smoke detector is working. Let's see, not like you're heating, during the wintertime. We've noticed that a lot of people have the space heaters. Just making sure your space heater is plugged right into the outlet and not through an extension cord, and make sure that you got 3 feet around anything that could be combustible as far as a space heater.
Good information.
And burning an outdoor fire is a violation, right?
If you're doing it in your fire pit, still, I mean, if it's a nuisance to your neighbors, we will ask you to put it out.
Yes. Or frying that chicken in the garage.
Excuse me?
I said frying that chicken in a deep fryer in your garage.
Porch.
Sometimes we see too that people might be, and you might think this is unusual, but people, sometimes they bring their grills into the homes, or we've had a instance where the people brought the generator actually in the house.
Yeah.
And I don't really want to talk about that too much, but just being safe as far as generators. During the time we got the power outages, I think I ain't gonna go into the details as far as that, but just making sure you're safe.
Yes.
Because probably a lot of fires that after you all, investigate the fire, a lot of fires that y'all go to and put out are because of some of these violations of cords under the rugs or extension cords.
Extension cords everywhere. You want to make sure you get somebody that's a licensed electrician to actually come out and make sure, because a lot of times I've noticed too doing inspections, a lot of times you don't even need that extension cord. We just use them, I guess, because we can or we know they use them. But a lot of times when I went into some businesses, we move stuff around and and we didn't have to use the extension cord. So.
Now I tell the colonel, since he cooks a lot, when you hear that fire alarm go off, make sure you go in the kitchen first and see who's cooking.
I know. Well, I do 95% of the cooking, so I know what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's all good. But yeah, especially, since we got summertime coming up, and I used to be on the Army's burn flight team, and I answered so many calls flying across the country for those who were charcoal and outside, but starting their fires with gasoline. And that is the wrong thing to do.
That's the wrong thing. We don't, I mean, as far as grilling, some people use the lighter fluid and everything, but you really don't have to use that. As far as just starting your fire with your, and then you having the grills that have the grates over them, and then making sure you stay there, because we noticed too, some people might just forget that they got the grill on, or they cooking, or I'm gonna run to the store and then come back, and then you got to fire at the house. And just making sure you keep it away from the house, and make sure you have some way of extinguishing.
Yes.
That.
Oh, and talking about extinguishers, fire extinguishers, you have them in the home. What's the lifetime for those fire extinguishers?
I think it's about 10 years, I think it is.
How do you check them to see if they're no longer working?
Just making sure you kind of shake them up and see if there's any, you hear any loose things in there inside. So or you can have, for the home, I mean, I know for most businesses, you would probably have to have somebody actually come out and check your fire extinguishers every year.
And it's important to have them, especially in your kitchen area.
And garage.
And garage, you're correct.
Is not the fire extinguisher is not I see past the stove. Because most likely where the fire's gonna be at the stove, and then you got to go around to get the fire extinguisher. Just making sure it's outside. I ain't gonna say outside the kitchen, but where you can reach it, and not have to go past the fire.
And it's important, if you see a fire, not to throw what on that fire?
Water. You don't want to. I've done that before I came to the fire department.
Please explain that, please.
Don't go
automatic
or move it. Once you move that pan, you're giving it the oxygen that it needs to catch on fire. I've done that exactly. I went straight from moving it off to the stove, starting the fire from moving it, and then putting it in the sink to put water on it, and it went right on up. This was way before I got in the fire department. So yeah, just making sure you have something like a lid to cover. If something happens like that, just cover it.
Now, what about salt? I've seen people throw salt on fires that they've had.
Some other things, yes.
That would work as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Good point. Good point. A
Yeah,
lot of good points there.
I think the grease fire is the hardest thing to put out. And like you said, that's where you need the cover. Because even with a fire extinguisher, you don't want to use that on a grease fire.
That's why we try to, when we do kitchen safety, that's one of the things that we do. You want to have a lid somewhere so where you can cover just in case. And then make sure you don't, when you're cooking, please do not leave the kitchen.
Right.
And a lot of times people use timers, especially when I'm baking or anything. I use a timer to make sure that I don't forget about it, go lay down and fall asleep. So I know the timer's gonna go off.
Right. Yeah, because I know a lot of people have had kitchen fires based upon them cooking on the stove and going to sleep and waking up and smoke everywhere. So and especially, let's talk about smoke in the home. What do you do if your home is just engulfed in smoke? You don't have to fire, but the smoke is in the home.
Okay. Well, I mean, is it a fire day? You don't call 911. That's the first thing we want to do is call 911 and actually get everybody out of the house. Call and meet in a good place. I mean, I'd say a place every time. So first of all, we tell people to actually have a fire exit plan.
Right.
So you want to make sure everybody, and then you want to practice it, make sure everybody knows exactly what they need to do if something happens.
Getting low.
Oh, you're talking about as far as getting low? Oh yeah,
right.
With the smoke, you want to get low and get out.
Yeah, just like you mentioned about moving that pan and giving it oxygen on fire, you don't want to run.
No, no.
Drop and roll.
But that is the reaction that most people do. They want to run. Yeah, but so you want to stop, drop and roll, or you know, somebody else can get a blanket to put around them to kind of put the fire, pat it out.
Mm-hmm.
I used to teach that in the school, but lately I have not heard any kids talking about stop, dropping, and roll. So I'm wondering if they're still teaching that in the school to the children.
I'm not sure as far as that, but I know with us going into the schools, reading the books to the kids, I think a lot of things have been taken out of that part of it. And then with COVID in the last couple of years, we haven't had an opportunity to reach the kids.
Right, right. Well, I know what you mean because we're having the same problem with DARE. So prayerfully, we'll be back in the school system soon.
Yes, I hope at the beginning of the school year.
Exactly.
Indeed. Well, Captain Orton, we want to really thank you for coming on and sharing your information today, invaluable, and hope it gives encourages someone to go into the firefighting field. It's something that we need here in the city of Portsmouth and all through Hampton Roads. And
well, thank you for the privilege. You know, it's an honor and a privilege to be wanting somebody, me actually, you know, to have to come on and speak to the citizens of Portsmouth.
And you did an amazing job, young lady.
Yes.
You definitely did. And hopefully we'll have you back at different times during the year, because it's always something we can add to about fire safety, or, you know, like I said, technology is always improving, you know, so it's always something to add. And especially about that LVAD thing. I'm glad that they are y'all are on.
But look, I'm gonna, just because you said that, I'm gonna make sure that the recruits actually make sure they touch bases on that, the LVAD.
You'll be surprised by me being around. You'll be surprised how many people are walking around here with LVADs.
Yes.
You know, they're not always detectable, but there's a lot of people that I know of for sure walking LVADs. And
but we got to reach out. Most of our EMS supervisors, our coordinators, they actually know the people that we have in the city that has LVADs.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But as far as the recruit class, I'll make sure I make mention of that, make sure they know that. And Colonel, I am gonna reach out to the chief this morning as far as having mentors for those 5 females as they start on May 3rd.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I go to the heart hospital next month, and I'll make sure that they mention to LVAD patients to notify their local police or fire departments that they do have that. And you all take note of that and know when you go to that house, this person has an LVAD, so act accordingly. But again, thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And glad you're an early morning person.
Well, as long as I got my coffee, I'm good.
Yeah. Same here.
Make sure to drink. We have to make sure you're drinking your coffee out of the proper cup, though.
Yes. Thank you for that already.
Yes.
So the Portsmouth Coffee Talk. Thanks everyone for watching, and we are here with our voice,
our community,
in our future.
Thanks everyone for watching. We appreciate it, and stay tuned next month that we come back with Portsmouth Coffee Talk. Take care. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Please like and share our Facebook page as well as our YouTube page. Thank you so very much.
Like and subscribe.
Thank you so very much.
Told I was early.
Yeah.
Let me stop. Okay, let me get out of here.
You started the recording back.
Okay, thank you.
And you're still recording.
Okay, watch your language.